Hey everybody, I'm here with EquinoxDoodles, and we're going to be playing some Rivals and just having a conversation talking about just general workshop stuff and more so their involvement with workshop. In case, well actually, let me have you introduce yourself, because I know, well obviously you know yourself well.
I feel like I do. Hello, I'm EquinoxDoodles. I like to introduce myself as the guy that made Kris in Rivals because that's what everyone knows me as. I was here since the beginning of Workshop, and I think I posted around in our, Kris was finished in a month after or so Workshop was done, or at least was in beta. And ever since then, I'm now joined with Team Rose Petals, and I've had an involvement with the Workshop community as a whole. You might have seen me at Top 8 commentating for Frostbite Workshop bracket, and outside of that you might have seen me commentate a few of the weeklies that happened in the Workshop extended Discord.
Oh yeah, that did happen. I forgot about the weeklies commentary. But
yeah, I did it once with Tritone, and that was a really good time. It was just like the Frostbite commentary. It was a nice little reunion.
Yeah, we really do need to have more commentary for those kinds of events, because I feel like we don't really rep them enough.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the big issue is that replays and Workshop aren't something that go well together sometimes.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, Cupcake, if you're playing against Cupcake, if they put down a field, the field and even the rope are completely invisible.
Oh, dang.
I think Bird Guy, I think it's just articles in general are completely invisible. Like, Bird Guy's eggs don't appear in replays. But yeah. I don't know if that's been patched or not.
I don't know. Workshop is weird. But anyway, now let's hop into a game. I'm just gonna be playing Kris. I'll have some questions on him in a bit, but I'm just gonna start with some more general stuff, and then branch into the timeline of what you did chronologically, and then just end off with some interesting extra stuff.
Alright, works for me.
So while I'm selecting Kris here, what exactly got you into just Rivals in general?
So, this is a really funny story, actually. So, back when, I think it was, I want to say 9th grade, me and my friend, Logan, were in computer programming class. And our first instinct wasn't, oh, let's do programming, now that we're done so we can learn more. It was, hey, let's go onto some site and download illegal copies of games. So, we ended up finding Rivals of Aether. I think I found it through the Game Grumps, and I was really enjoying the idea of doing a new platform fighter. Maybe it was Alpharad, I don't know. It was a YouTuber who brought it to my attention, and because of that, I decided to actually look more into it. And back then, I was actually playing on keyboard, so that was a fun experience. But we just played pretty much illegal copies of Rival, and eventually I got it on sale, and I was like, all right, so me and my friend can now officially play Rivals in a legal manner.
Yeah.
And by then I was playing on a DualShock.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, I know there's a lot of debate over controller preference, because there are people who play really well on keyboard, but I will always go for controller. But yeah, that is really funny that just getting it pirated and then, well, now you're here, so yeah.
Yeah. The fun thing about the pirated copy was that we could do online, but you couldn't match with people that were actually have the physical copy, or not the physical copy, the legal copy.
Yeah.
So me and my friend Logan would just play games together.
Gotcha.
Because there was no one else online.
Yeah. But yeah,
we had all the DLC, all the skins, and all that stuff, so it was cool.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, I don't even have all the skins, but yeah. Now that we have an idea of just how you got involved with this game, what exactly got you into what made you go, yes, I want to make a Workshop character?
Well, I think at the time I was more so focused on actually because I think it was just I really liked Rivals, and by the time Workshop came out, it was all the DLC's done, no more characters, but this was a chance for me to make my own characters, so that's what I did. And I don't know why Ralsei is invisible in this
I don't know.
But we were, I just saw the announcement, and I was like, well, that's what I want to do. It's fun. I was currently in college for animation, so I thought it would be a nice exercise to do. So I chose to make a character, and Kris was the character I landed on because Deltarune was still fresh in my mind by the time that happened.
Okay, that was actually my next question, just why Kris of all characters?
Yeah, it was a mix of Deltarune was fresh in my mind. Kris was also a very simple sprite, and I tried to replicate the Deltarune art style within Kris's sprite, for better and for worse. And people were also excited for Kris, so it kind of helped in that regard.
Yeah. But...
Oh.
I guess... Like, well, obviously Kris's inspiration from Deltarune is there, because, you know, it's Kris. It's kind of hard to not have Deltarune inspiration. But were there any, like, other characters in general that inspired Kris's moveset? Like, I know he has Cloud Up Air. So,
that's actually another really funny story. Kris's moveset, for the most part, was very off the cuff. I had... Like, I think when I was going in, I knew what F Smash was. I knew what I wanted his jab to be, which was originally a 3-hit, but that last hit became his F tilt. And I think... What was the last thing that I had planned? It was... I want to say down tilt. But outside of that, I was kind of just going off of... just kind of winging it, and when I would essentially go into the Rivals voice chat, and I would just stream my progress of the character. And people would come in and give me ideas, and that's how Kris got the Fox Dare and the Cloud Up Air, and it was just, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do with the character. So I was like, oh, I might as well, you know, do something a little fun.
Yeah. Well, you know, one way or another, the character did come together, so, I mean, there's that. Like... I guess I had this more later, but like Kris was one of the first characters to really escape that workshop development hell, where there were a lot of early projects that just never got anywhere, and then Kris happened.
Yeah, the thankful thing with I think that happened with Kris was that like I want to say it was people that were excited for it that made me actually do it. That's why I think I had it done the way I did, and Kris's sprites were also super simple compared to like what I'm doing now, so I was able to crank him out pretty easily.
Yeah. The other thing is when you were talking about Kris's moveset, you mentioned that like F tilt was originally going to be a 3-hit move. Was there any other?
Jab was going to be a 3-hit move.
Oh, jab. My bad. But
yeah, it's alright.
Were there any other like cut ideas for the character that didn't make it into the final build?
Yeah, down special was never going to be Courage. It was actually planned to be heal, like Ralsei was going to come out and heal.
Oh, that...
But you know how people are with healing in Smash Brothers games.
Yeah.
So that was cut for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but I can imagine that people would be absolutely infuriated.
Yeah, especially, I think we were planning to do like an update that would that would make Kris have like an option for... instead of having Courage as your down special, you would have heal as your down special, and you'd heal your opponent, or not your opponent, your teammate in doubles. But you would have to use, like, it would drain your TP like crazy, so it wasn't like a super good option, but you could do it.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it seems like the character has had a long journey, but that kind of fits into your own personal journey, because I know when you were making the character, you didn't really have too much experience with pixel art or programming. So how was dealing with that when you were making Kris? How did that work out?
So thankfully, because Kris was a recognized character and people liked what they had, I was able to get through most of the coding for like Devil's Knife and I think the other one was Courage, like the particle effects for Courage.
Oh, yeah.
That was all handled by Madman, who's like, hey, I really like the character, I want to help you out, so here's what I can do, and I'll learn. But outside of that, my main, like, I've had coding experience, but not, like, anything in GML.
Yeah.
But pixel art was something I want to say I was, like, really new at, simply because I didn't have experience going in similar to like Sprite Star or Wish Dream. You know, people that have actual, you know, investment into this sort of talent. And so like I want to say the earliest thing that I did with pixel art, which I don't really count as pixel art, was I would mash up Pokemon sprites together and I would make my own Pokemon from them. So I'd open up like good old MS Paint, because I like this is on Windows Vista, mind you. So I would open up MS Paint and I would just take GBA sprites of Pokemon and I'd mish them together and make my own. But I mean, it really helps having like some background in animation and in art in general, just to actually make Kris into the character that they are now. Yeah.
I mean, for what they were, they definitely came out relatively quick, especially compared to some of these other projects that take years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at like my the Rose Petals stuff, we're taking a really long time on some of these characters. And it partly it's because I'm lazy. I'm not gonna, you know, try and dodge that question, but I'm pretty lazy.
Yeah, but you know, stuff gets done, so you know, it's always cool to see new stuff, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's something that's really nice about Workshop, is that usually, you know, people are pretty excited for anything. That's kind of the really nice thing that we have here in Workshop, is that pretty much anyone will be excited for your project.
Yeah.
Whether you think so or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's just like, that's part of what I love about Workshop, is that there's just anyone can have ideas. We have characters who do stuff that no one would ever think of putting on a character. Well, obviously that's not true, because someone did, but no one would be like, I'm making a $20 indie game and this is one of the characters in it. Mm-hmm. So we see a lot of cool ideas come out that we don't see anywhere else.
Oh yeah. It's I think I want to say that is it I think I don't have F special anymore.
It's changed. It's now like a new move.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, people making stuff that were like different. I think Saffron's the first character that we were like shooting for legality to have a death box.
Oh yeah.
So, like we're getting a little wild with some of these characters, especially like Everest and the other secret characters that we've been working on in Rose Petals. So like there's a lot of stuff that's happening that we just are kind of like, let's get a little crazy, because like at the end of the day, we're all going to be done with Workshop someday. So we might as well go out with a bang.
That is true. Yeah. So from what I can tell, probably your favorite part of making Kris was just seeing the reception to the character and just people being excited for them. Was there anything that you absolutely hated about making this character?
The fact that I'm always entirely linked to him. Like, that is my reputation now. And that is a very scary thing to think about. Because, I feel like Kris is now kind of in the nostalgic era, where, like, people look back at him and they're like, yeah, that was cool. But deep down, I think there's a lot of things that I could have made better with the character, including, just general coding stuff, animation, moveset design. Like, there's a lot of things that I know I can change.
Yeah. That hit another one of my things. I was going to ask if there was anything that you might have done differently.
In specific? I think the main one that I was thinking of was up special, and I want to say probably. Now this is actually a really tough one, because I know I definitely want to change up special a bit, and I think the main thing I want to change is probably gonna be like down smash or maybe up smash, one of the two. I think the one thing that I definitely would change out of Kris's kit would be, like, if I had to change one thing, it was gonna be up special, because a lot more people wanted me to include Ralse and Lancer a lot more. So my new idea was that I was gonna make a skin for, or not a skin, your enhanced up special would have like Lancer come out on his bike and you'd like ride him up a little further and you'd have more horizontal range with that.
That'd be cool, yeah. But yeah, I mean, personally, I do think that for the time, especially, the character did turn out super well, especially compared to the other relative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've kind of been talking about this in general, but I do have a question here, which is just, how do you feel about just the general reception of Kris as a whole? Because I know for a lot of people, myself included, Kris was really the first glimpse that made it look like Workshop was going to be a thing more than just funny meme characters.
I honestly, I feel like I'm in the minority actually on that part then, because I always thought Malo was the one that people were like, yeah, Workshop's gonna be a thing, because Malo was a super high quality character at the time.
Yeah, but Malo definitely was huge too, but Kris was like, I know they didn't release in a complete state yet, but they were like the first one that there was like active progress on that looked like, yes, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, that's I think in general from that point of view of like the reaction in that part, I feel like this is it's gonna sound weird, but like I feel like I don't deserve the credit, or I don't feel like I'm the one that gets enough credit for the things I'm trying to do. Like I don't want to sound like I have an ego or anything, because I really don't. Like I definitely think that Malo was the one that people really should have been looking at as like the first glimpse of Workshop being a thing, but when people were looking at active development characters, like when we were first starting out, and Kris being the first one I think would probably be like considered active, but it was it feels like a lot of people don't kind of care anymore, because a lot more people now point to Malo, which is totally understandable. Yeah. And in that regard, I think it's totally cool, and I'm glad that people had that reception to Kris at the time compared to where we are now, because now at this point, like people can make any kind of high quality character and people will be excited for it. Yeah. I think that's super sick, but I don't know, I feel like I have an inferiority complex instead of like a superiority complex. I feel like I'm not good enough to have the kind of title or anything like that. But I still kind of want deep down inside that people would acknowledge the small mark I made on the Workshop community.
Well, there's no guarantee that it'll be the only thing, because obviously you still have projects coming out, like, Saffron is still looking absolutely crazy. Yeah,
it's I feel like Saffron's definitely my character that I can look back on and be like, yeah, this is where I learned a lot about Workshop and a lot about how like my progress should be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we brought on another animator, Buttercup, to help us create Saffron a little faster. I have no idea if they're gonna want to stick around for the other characters that we're working on, but I mean, their help is greatly appreciated regardless.
Yeah. I hope so, because her work is really good.
Yeah, she's a really great sprite artist. She makes really detailed sprites, and that's a blessing and a curse that I know of, I can say with certainty.
Yeah. Alright. Well, the perfect timing of me just getting my Kris just dying there. Are there any final thoughts you have on Kris that you want to share before we move on, or?
Yeah, I think I get this question. I feel like I get this question a bit, and that's why isn't there a Kris 2? And my general thoughts have always been, I've kind of always been proud of Kris. Like, even when I'm like, I don't want that to be my entire legacy on the Workshop, but when people tell me, or, ask me when Kris 2 is gonna happen, because compared to like the stuff in Curated now, Kris looks like spoiled milk. And my general answer has always been the same, and that is, I really don't want to like touch the building blocks that helped me become the creator I am today.
Yeah, that does make sense. That Kris was a starting point, and it's good to have that there to see, you know, where you came from there. And then, you know, from there you made this character, who is awesome.
Penny?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Penny was weird. Penny had a long, weird history of just being a character that I made. Well, it wasn't just me. There was a lot of Rose Petals and whatever happened with that. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about with Rose Petals, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But there was before Penny, there was other projects I really wanted to do, and one of those was teased in the Kris trailer on YouTube, and that was Master Chief.
Oh, yeah.
So before that, there were 4 other characters I was planning on making, 3 of which I actually had like a design or something that I could go off of. And that was Master Chief, Lyn from Fire Emblem, who is going to be more like the PM Lyn. And last but certainly not least was a new OC called Cecil, who was essentially going to be a mix of Robin and Ganondorf.
Oh, yeah, I feel like I vaguely remember seeing that character.
Yeah, he was a goat with a book. That's all I remember it being.
Yeah, I don't even know if I saw...
He was fun.
I don't even know if I ever saw the sprite for them. I just remember the name.
Yeah, they're, if you look at their, like, if I showed you their sprite, I mean, you could probably, I'll send it to you so you can put it in the video. But if you look at their sprite, you can see just, like, it was kind of in the same era / style as Penny, where it was very kind of rough around the edges and needed a little work with the sprite. But it was definitely a step in the right direction compared to Kris, who was very simple, and yet had a lot of moving parts in terms of the colors.
Yeah, so... so,
I think... and before we get to Penny, actually, sorry, one more thing I have to forget is... the team that helped create Penny was originally supposed to be making 2B, and that got canceled due to reasons. Yeah.
I kind of left that out because I figured you didn't want to mention that, so...
No, I feel like it's important to talk about, purely because the direction that Penny went in was largely in part due to the team that I was working with. Not so much Ruby and Hinata, who are great people, love them dearly. It was more so Pixel, and if it wasn't for Pixel, we wouldn't have Puppy, we would have Kitty. Or was it a fox? I forget. Penny's species always changed until we settled on dog.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that's where my first question was coming in with her. It's just where did Penny as a character come from?
So Penny started off as a Sonic OC that I created for my like my friend created a Sonic OC and was like, hey, you should make a Sonic OC too. So I was like, okay, I will. So Penny was originally like a bad guy. She worked for Robotnik, had the metal arm and the eye patch and stuff, but I think she was a cat at the time. And from there, things just started becoming a little different because I forgot that she was a cat, and then I was like, yeah, she's a fox now. And Pixel said that she was not happy with the fact that Penny was, you know, a subspecies of dog and not just a normal dog. And because at the time I had a thing for Pixel, I decided to change Penny's species to be just a normal dog. And I think that was a really good decision in the long run because of the running joke of Puppy.
Yeah.
So that was something that I think was probably a good decision in the long run.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like design of like the moveset and stuff, it was I really like there were like 3 characters I really liked in PM, and that was Lucario, Lucas, and Lyn. And obviously Lucario was the main inspiration for Penny because of the magic system. The only thing that was left out was the super moves because I didn't feel like animating them. But that was largely kind of how Penny became the thing. I was just like, I want this character, and Ruby and Hinata supported me 100%. And maybe it made things a lot easier.
Yeah, this is really working out because this keeps segueing right into my next question, which is like, obviously Kris was a solo project, and then Penny was a team project.
Well, sort of. I want to say Kris is sort of a solo project, but it was...
Yeah, I mean...
If it outside of the article, yeah, it was largely me, so I can...
Yeah, I mean, there was some help there, but for the most part, you did a good chunk of the work. And Penny was made with Rose Petals, of course. Did anything... were there any, like, major differences when you were working as part of the team? I mean, obviously there were some, but...
Yeah. So... It's weird that, like... So Penny, like, was just, like, I designed Penny as, like, the character. I just made the character design, and I made the concept of what I wanted things to work like. But from there, it was then it was more so a team effort of wanting to do things better than what we did with Pixel. So one of the things that we changed was that everyone would have a say in how the moveset was designed. Because before with 2B, didn't matter how good your idea for a move was, it was immediately shut down by Pixel because it wasn't part of his design, or her design. I don't know what pronouns they go by anymore. I think they go by all of them, honestly. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think they have really any internet presence now, so it's kind of hard
after
to tell
what happened.
Yeah. But yeah, it is... Despite all that, it is cool that, you know, it worked out and the team got back on track, and now we have this and hopefully more projects in the future.
Yeah. So, as I was saying before, I only did the character design and, like, some of the sprite work and some of the coding. The moveset was all Hinata and Ruby. They were the people that wanted, like, a certain move a certain way, and then I would pitch in with, like, you know, what I think would work, if it was a substitute, if I needed to. And, but it was kind of all this, it was all their part. Like, Penny would not be the character they are today if it wasn't for those two.
I definitely do think that it paid off, because this character is sick, and I will still swear by that.
Yeah, I think, like, for me, it was just the fact that I'm not happy with the sprites, and I feel like there could have been more done with the character outside of just how they are, and that's kind of where, like, Penny 2.0 was kind of, like, conceived. But,
yeah.
I mean, we learned a lot. Like, if you look at Saffron and eventually Everest and the other secret characters we're working on, you can tell that we've learned a significant amount of how to actually work as a team and make these characters actually fit in the Rivals game.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's that really, I really have no idea where to even go with that.
It's all good. Yeah, I'm struggling to kind of think of things on this topic, but I do think that yes, there's a lot of... This character definitely... the cancels are very controversial among a lot of people, but I do really enjoy how they turned out.
Yeah, but I think they're... I try to make their moves... Like, we intentionally made them stubby, we intentionally made her slow. Like, we did all this stuff because we knew that cancels were going to be a very controversial thing to have. But I think it ended up paying out in the long run because I think people are kind of dealing with it now.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
Zoners.
That reminds me because it just popped up on my screen. Baby mode.
Oh, baby mode. Yeah, that was because people kept complaining about cancels, so we created baby mode as a joke, and that just turns off cancels entirely.
Yeah, it's great. I know I was playing with Windows on stream a while ago, and he was just like, "What is baby mode?"
Yeah, so baby mode is essentially because people just kept complaining, so we made it funny. Like, if you look at, I think, I find a way to get back at people who are complaining about my characters in some way, shape, or form. Like, there is a variable called Nature Valley Nene, which is supposed to be kind of a jab at Trail Mix. And, because Trail Mix just kept complaining about Kris. Even more so that they added me on the NA chord, and told me how they would design Kris because I designed him wrong. So, to get back at him, I made his variable linked to the Abyss rune that gives Kris a 1 in 10 chance of avoiding parry stun.
That's great.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. So in in the stuff that's Penny adjacent, but not necessarily Penny, where did the whole voiced Codex idea come from? Because I know that was a big thing that a lot of people find interesting about this character.
I'm gonna be honest, it was literally just me going, that'd be cool. Like, I have like 3 design principles. One is, people like characters that are sick and can let them do cool, sick things. And my other design philosophy is, if it sounds funny and toxic, make it a rune. The last one is, if it sounds cool, find a way to incorporate it.
Yeah.
And with the Codex, I wanted to add lore to Penny because I really like lore in characters, and having people be excited for a character because of lore was something that was kind of really intriguing to me.
Yeah. That just reminded me about, I don't think it ever got implemented, but you saying if it sounds toxic, make it a rune, reminded me of the Shadow Moves rune that I don't think ever got implemented.
Yeah, the Shadow Moves rune never came in. They were supposed to be multi-hitting versions of her specials, similar to Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
I think the one toxic thing that made me laugh the hardest was the Foot Dive rune.
Oh yeah.
Because I think when I was just making it, I was just like, wouldn't that be funny? And then I added it, and it was really funny. So, but like, you look at like Kris with a question mark, which is the joke version of Kris. That was literally all my ideas of how, like, possibly worse I could make Kris, as well as make him into a joke. Because at this point, I just kind of consider Kris to be like a meme. Like, I don't take a lot of stuff with when I make characters seriously, because most of the time I just want to find something that sounds cool and I can like balance later.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of this game in general, even with the base cast, is like, hey, wouldn't this be funny? What if this character?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you just hit me with Bird Guy Down special, which is
Bird Guy. Oh god, Bird Guy Down special. This move is so nutty, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
I think there's like the guillotine card for Saffron, which is the thwack card. If you look in the comments for that, it's so sad that Steve Jobs died, and then the last one is Who's Steve Jobs, followed by Ligma Balls.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just throw in stuff because we think it's funny and because people think it would be cool. I think Penny still has the file, which is, if you look in the file, it's just random character strings. It's never called ever. But it's like an ASCII art of Sonic chilling out with his legs crossed, saying, like, it's the Alone on a Friday Night, how pathetic, but instead it's, checking through a character's files, how pathetic. And, like, we just had fun with these characters, and I think that's what makes Workshop so much fun for me, is that we don't really care for balance because we know that it will happen eventually. So we might as well have a little fun with it. Yeah.
Speaking of characters, but not necessarily in the same way, obviously people who have seen the Codex have seen that there's another character, Forza. Is there any like thing of where they came from, and do you think we'll ever see more of them?
So Forza's not our character. They actually belong to Wishdream. And originally Penny was going to have a girlfriend named Nicole to play off the money pun. But that character was also created by Pixel, but Forza just had such a better dynamic with Penny that we decided to work with it. So I contacted Wish saying, hey, can we do this? And, what would his voice sound like? And they were very, very helpful in that regard as to how to make things work. And while I personally can't say if Forza will ever become a Workshop character, I'm glad that people really like him as a character. I want to say that he's actually voiced by like at least a professional grade voice actor. Because one of the auditions that they put in was for League of Legends, and they were supposed to be another champion. I don't know what the champion's name would be or anything like that, but they did some really good work, and I asked them, if they could mimic the voice that Wishdream was looking for, and they were able to, and thankfully they were able to work within our restrictions of budget, and Forza was, yeah. Penny is the most expensive mod to date, and I don't think anything's ever going to change that.
Probably.
But I really hope that I can do more with Forza. I want to do I still want to do a Penny webcomic. Because there are some ideas that I had, like I want to do maybe like McClare comes in, because I think that's a really fun idea to pull on people. I wanted to have an Olympia arc, because of there was an AU where like Olympia froze herself in crystal, and that could be a really fun, interesting way to incorporate some things. But I think the last one that we were probably gonna go with was actually with Hime, and there was gonna be we were kind of sort of introduce humans into the world of Aether. But naturally that didn't go anywhere, because we were now working on the Everest and Ireless webcomic.
Yeah.
But we have like, I think I want to add more Codex at some point. Even though I told Ruby to DM me if I ever do this bad decision ever again. Because I spent a lot of money on voice actors. But there are some other characters that we want to incorporate, like there's, with like her lore, she's like kind of security for this bar in Julesvale. And the bartender's name is, it's essentially like an underground operation to help people get out of the fire capital. And, the one of the characters there is a zebra named Zach, and he's from the fire capital as well, but he's essentially like Penny's hype man compared to, Forza's very kind of nervous nerdiness.
Yeah.
It would have been a nice change of pace. There was also ones that I wanted to do, like have Slippy come in for Fox and Falco. I think at some point I might have considered doing one for all the Sonics and having Tails come in for that one. Or Robotnik, either one. But we were really having a lot of fun with Penny and her Codex at the time, and I think that shows a lot in the writing for them.
Yeah, it was definitely a really cool feature, and it's hard. I don't think we'll ever see anything like it, for at least for a long time.
I'm hoping nobody else does it, because that costed me a lot of money. It was not cheap. There was I think my favorite part of doing the Codex was because Dan was following me by that time. So whenever I had a lore question, I would ask Dan, and his response usually was just check the website. So I would be like, hey, I would like to know more about, specifically for like the Everest comic, was, hey, I want to learn more about, Daedalus and the city that he's from. Could you tell me more? And he's just like, everything's on the website, and like, with a little smiley face on it. And that's Dan for you.
Yep. Pray you never need Rano lore.
I mean, we had to get all the lore for all the base characters because of the Codex, because I wanted to include as much lore as possible. There were some characters that didn't have lore, so we had to like write around it. Like, I think Epinal was the big one. But I want to say the biggest one was Gustav, because when I talked to Architos about it, he didn't have like anything written down. So that was the fun one.
Yeah. Alright, so just moving on to just more Penny development. What were your favorite and least favorite moments of making Penny?
I think my favorite moment was seeing the general response. I respond to positivity. So when people were very excited for those Penny Codex, I was very excited about it too. I think the big excitement was actually getting off the ground and not working on 2B. Because 2B was a pain in the butt to get going. Because at the time, we didn't have color mapping. So the way that we would get around it was that we would slightly change the hue of the shades of clothing and stuff. So, like, I think some of it was, like, blue and some of it was purple, but overall, there were, it was just, like, it was a mess. But Penny was finally able to come into her own because of the because of just being free of having to not do 2B anymore. And it was also a character that everyone in the team was like kind of excited about, and that made me really happy about.
Were there any moments that you're like, okay, this is frustrating?
It was definitely trying to finish Penny. I have a lot of fun with attacks, and I know that now, but doing, like, cleaning up attacks the way that I used to do it was a huge procedure, and with Penny's sprite, it was a pain in the, a pain in the ass to do everything together. It was not a very fun experience, like, compiling all the attacks together and trying to figure that out. But, like, I mean, things haven't changed because I'm still working on Saffron, and she's got a really complex sprite too.
Yeah. I'm sure it definitely will pay off because Saffron just goes crazy.
Oh yeah. Again, Ruby was the entire design on that. Hinata's kind of staying back on this one. I'm guessing that she's probably very busy, which is why she's definitely helping more in one of the secret characters cases in with Everest. But it was a lot of Ruby. So it was a lot of fun though, making Penny, making Saffron, and the differences between the two characters, especially because it feels like it's night and day when you look at the designs of these two characters.
Yeah. Okay, this is a kind of a, not, I say personal question, but I don't mean like, it's more like I want to know because I've been asking around and I still don't have the answer to this. Obviously, I'm not sure how much you would know either, but obviously RCS is coming up soon.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, myself included, were just surprised to see Penny in the roster just because, there's not been a lot of her recently. Do you have any insight into how that happened, or was it just like...
Yeah, I have a little bit of insight. I thought you were gonna say, I thought your question was actually gonna be, what does Down Special do? I was gonna get really mad. Thank God you didn't. The RCS with Penny was because people knew that I wanted to do a Penny 2.0 for a while, and I've been working on it. So, but Inner hit me up and asked me if I would be okay with having Penny in the actual tournament, because like, again, I'm part of the like original set of people that came in and made stuff on the workshop, so I guess it made sense in that regard. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of Penny play because of her inconsistency online and such. So and people were a little surprised by that, but I wanted it not because of there might be people playing, or I wanted to have people see my stuff. It was mostly because Ruby and Hinata would have something that they could really be proud of. Like, this was their last hurrah with 1.0, and Hinata and Ruby really wanted to have their two characters put into the, not into Curate, but just into the actual, like, I think it was actually curated, never mind. But, like, they wanted to have their characters, Riki and Kyoko, put into a tournament. So, but Penny's a character we all worked on, so I decided, it would probably be a good idea to give them this opportunity to say like their character was part of RCS. So I gave the okay to have that happen, and the rest is history.
Yeah. It is really cool just to see her make it to that, because obviously the fact that it's a workshop tournament with like $1,000 prize pool is just insane.
Yeah. I still think people place her too high on tier lists. I'm gonna be honest, I still think that she's kind of poopy, but I'm also getting my butt handed to me, so...
People have definitely convinced me otherwise recently, that I've seen a lot of people be like, okay, she's like top 10, maybe top 10, but like, I think she's
I don't know.
At most, she's like high tier, I guess, like top of high tier. I don't think she's like bird guy level. I don't think she's like cupcake level, but she definitely can shred you if she gets in.
Yeah, I definitely know that part, but I was like, if you just play the zoner game, you should be fine. Like, bird guy should like, if let's, say they're equal quality, Bird Guy should probably destroy that matchup. Even Rue would probably be a better call against Penny.
Yeah.
But, I'm curious to see what people do in the RCS if they even play Penny. I know you said that you're going to be playing her.
Yeah.
So,
obviously, I'm definitely not as good as, like, the actual, like, top 50 players who are joining. But it'll be cool to see what I can do.
I appreciate the thought in general, though.
Yeah. Alright, I guess the other question, just because you kind of mentioned this, Penny 2, has there been too much, like, what inspired you to be like, yes, I want to make Penny 2, and how much has gone into that currently, if you want to talk about that?
I can share a little about it. The stuff that's, like, already kind of public is, like, it's the mine, and I think I posted about the wall before, but I probably didn't.
I think you did.
Yeah, but so the reason that I really wanted to do Penny 2.0 was, one, the sprite, I really wanted to retouch that, and two, I wasn't really happy with the main mechanic, and I wanted to make it more Rivals-y, So,
yeah.
In my head, I was like, alright, well, she's a bounty hunter, like, she's a mercenary, so we might as well lean into that a little bit more. So we kind of looked at Snake for inspiration, and things just started to kind of go from there. One of the main differences is, of course they have Nikita, or not, is that Nikita? The C4. They have the C4. But they also have a new F special, which is a wall that they can place, which doesn't affect you if you're, like, not in hit stun. So you can, like, knock people into it, and if they have a mine stuck to them, they get, like, wall stuck. They get a wall splatter on them. So you can, like, use that for follow-ups, because I still want them to be a slow character. Or at least a slower character.
That is going to be really cool, because, like, one of the things I really like about Penny 1.0 is, like, the traditional fighter influences, and I think having wall splat would be really cool.
Yeah, because we're dropping all the cancels, because I don't want there to be people complaining and having to worry about baby mode. So so, like, instead we're more focusing on making her a more unique, I guess, trap-based zoner who has a really good combo game.
Yeah.
So, I guess more in line with Saffron, really.
Yeah, but I'm sure the characters will be very different, because, Saffron has the menu.
Yeah. It's so weird. I'm not sure if you have any questions on Saffron at all.
I have a couple later on.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because there's a lot of stuff that went into Saffron as well. But as for, like, Penny 2.0 kind of progress, we haven't really touched it. We've been kind of busy with other things, mostly Everest and the secret characters and stuff. So we haven't been able to actually, like, sit down and work on Penny 2.0, but she's gonna have a lot more sprites because she's gonna be asymmetricals. So no more magic eye patch and no more magic arm.
Yeah.
I think I still get shit for it to this day. Just like, because people like saying, oh, the eye patch is changing positions. Like, yeah, Sagat did that too.
I mean, it makes sense, because, developing a whole other set of sprites, even if it's just a matter of changing one detail, is still a lot of work. That's why we don't see too many workshop costumes.
Yeah. I'm still kind of mad that Tremolo and Alto don't have their pirate skin anymore.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I kind of forgot about that, and then I realized, I'm like, dang, I missed that. Hopefully that comes back in an update.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I'm just glad that they made a skin that lets Trummel shoot out yellow water, because now I can finally say haha piss cloud.
Yeah.
But I think the main inspiration was just, I looked at Olympia and Sprite Star wasn't happy, so I wanted to do changes to make myself feel better about Penny.
Yeah, I guess before I move on to your future projects that haven't been released yet, do you have any other thoughts on Penny? Yeah,
so the whole puppy thing, that was that was Sakamoto just being a little goofy, but it was so funny that it just kind of stuck. So we all just started calling Penny Pubby, or Penny, and like it was always just, oh, she cute dog, smiley face. Like that was always kind of all thanks to Sokka. So yeah. That was Penny. That was the whole history of Penny.
Yeah. She definitely had a pretty long journey, but I mean, now she's here and she is cool.
Yeah.
Alright, now I guess I've gone through all your characters, so I'll play around the roster a little bit. I know. But yeah, so I guess some questions on Saffron now, just a couple. I know Saffron is like officially licensed. How did that end up happening?
So we were kind of in the talks for a while of like, we wanted to do a third party character. We wanted to do a character that we could partner up with and be like, yeah, look at our thing, and have that on our resume. That's what we really wanted. And there was a lot of characters that we had going through before Saffron came in. But when Saffron was like, when we finally got the option to, I was like, because I made a workshop character for One Step from Eden, which is Ashley. But I was like, hey, you know, Eden Dev, can I make this happen? And he's like, yeah, that's fine with me. So we just kind of rolled with it, and I was like, hey, I got the approval, and Hinata was celebrating because she's a big fan of One Step from Eden.
Yeah.
And Ruby had no idea what One Step from Eden was, so that was a fun experience.
Yeah. So I know for context, you eventually did tell me before the reveal, but I kind of had a feeling it was Saffron, because you had said before that it was a character that would be playable in tournaments, and then you released the stage a while before then.
Oh yeah, Steps from Eden.
Yeah. Was Saffron planned was Saffron always planned with the stage, or was the stage like the first thing and then it just evolved from there?
So, in actuality, the stage was the first thing that happened. If it wasn't for the stage, I want to say it was, like, I just approached Eden Dev about the stage, and I got the approval. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And so when that happened, so Tails was super happy because he got to do music from a game. And, like, then after that, it was more of like, okay, well, we got the approval for the stage, let's see if we can get approval for the character.
Yeah.
But that was never the plan. We had other characters that we really wanted to do. We just never heard back, or didn't think that we would have the ability to actually do it. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it is still really cool to have, you know, an officially licensed third-party character. It's almost like, at this point, it's almost like it's a DLC character.
Yeah, that was kind of the goal. We were like, we want to make this as rivals as possible. And because I had, you know, a better skill set at my disposal, I was going to actually go a little ham on that. And that's kind of what ended up happening. Again, I mean, we had other characters that we wanted to do, but Saffron just kind of was lucky enough to fall into our hands.
Yeah. I can't believe I just realized what character you're playing.
You just realized I'm playing Captain Raster?
It took me that long. I'm just like, why is Raster here? And then I got hit by the knee, and I'm like, oh, it just clicked.
Oh, look at that. Look at that speed.
I didn't even think about putting this character in here, but obviously I know you enjoy making these. I guess, like, completely off subject, but I didn't even think about them, but I know you enjoy making these, like, really cursed skins. So, did these just kind of pop out of nowhere as just like, hey, wouldn't this be funny?
So, it all started with a little conversation on Twitter with between SBS and Sparks. And SBS said it would be really cool if Claren had Marthfair.
Oh, yeah.
So, being the very nice guy I was, I decided to grant SPS's wish and show just how awful of an idea it would be to have Claren with Marth Fair. And then after that, I was just like, alright, this is kind of fun. Let's do that with another character. And things just kind of kept going, and I just kept making Cursed Workshop skins because I just wanted to have funny things happen.
Yeah. Hey. Sorry, I'm going a bit out of order because I threw that in the middle there, but
yeah, it's alright.
Back on Saffron, obviously Saffron has a lot of references to her game. What's your favorite move that Saffron has?
Well, I have two because one of them is unfortunately cut, and that was the time slow.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite move that she has is her up air, which is the 3 frost crystal status effect that you have in One Step from Eden. So the thing that we really wanted to do with that and make it like really cool was if you hit all the ice sweet spots, you'd get additional damage, just like the actual status effect in One Step from Eden. So that's what we did, and it's always been my favorite move.
That is definitely one of the cool moves. There's a lot of really cool stuff on that character. Although, yeah, obviously One Step from Eden still has a lot of cool stuff. I feel like you already answered this one too, but like, was there anything from the game, I guess I'll say excluding Stopwatch, is there anything from the game that you wanted to include that you didn't end up like putting in the moveset design? I mean, obviously things are still subject to change, but... Yeah,
I think we had a lot of, like, there's a lot of spells in One Step from Eden, and the majority of the moves that we probably would have wanted would be the actual, like, some of the spells that Saffron can have. And I think one of the ones that got cut the soonest was what we called this was, oh my god, this is my favorite thing in the world, so I got permission from One Step from Eden Dev to make my own spell, and my own spell was called Uppies, which when you used, you'd go into the air and you'd have like Peach Float. But it was so weird for people to have Uppies that we had to cut it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I could imagine it being like a Zoom situation, but obviously Saffron has a smaller menu, so it'd probably be kind of weird.
Yeah. I just like the move, I just like calling it Uppies, and that was so funny. There's also a Simple Flips reference, so...
Yeah. Shoutouts to Simple Flips.
Shout out to the Simps.
Yeah, so I know Saffron, just to throw this in here, the plug, Saffron is still slated for like early this year, right?
That's the plan. We really don't have a deadline, but the plan was that it was supposed to be at the latest the same release date as One Step from Eden, which is in March. I think it's March 20th. That was our plan, but we kind of expanded it because of all the projects that we're doing to just kind of be whenever. So, but the plan is still to have them release in March, and we're gonna see what we can do in terms of releasing her, because we want to make it a kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Speaking of those other projects, though, obviously you teased one in particular today, but are there any any of your other projects that you have details you'd like to share about? Because I know there's not been as much info on anything else.
Yeah. Do you have are you actually subscribed to the stage?
I am. If you want to show it off.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna update it real quick.
Okay.
We'll do a quick update real quick, because there's a lot of things that have changed in the stage, but this is something that I've been kind of keeping a little hush hush because I think it's super cool, and I'm a huge fan of Megaman, so I just couldn't help myself in making a stage for Megaman. That tease was, I was kind of hoping that people would like the video or like the post way more, because oh my gosh, I am super excited for the 2 projects I'm going to be revealing at the Workshop Direct.
Yeah.
You have no idea how excited I am. As I said, I'm a person that is very happy when people react very happily to the stuff I create, or I have a hand in creating. Like, usually you can tell if I had a hand in creating something just by looking at the skins, if possible. Because most of the time, the skins that I make are the Vaporwave skins.
Yeah, I need to...
Like, Olympia... what was it? Olympia, Epinal... Like, I didn't have a hand in making them, but I made the skins. Astra has one, I know that one for a fact. And then... I want to say that, Geek's next character has a special skin made for me. And then, the only exception to that rule was, Saffron and, well, Penny didn't get one because she didn't have a good palette for it. But Saffron and Malo are the only two characters that I got to make skins for that are not Vaporwave themed.
Gotcha.
And the one I made for Malo was, the Kaiju skin, which is the Mothra reference, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. And the one for Saffron was obviously my character that I made for One Step from Eden, which was Ashley.
Yeah.
When you come in, I will need you to pick a base cast character.
Oh, okay.
It's still very early and stuff, but I had to get some help from Architas. There's currently a temp song being used in it, which is the Megaman 2 medley from Smash Brothers. And eventually that's going to be replaced with a medley of its own created by Delta Parallax, who made the music for Iroh and Laika and all the other Seeds of Aether characters.
Oh, that's going to be sick.
Yeah, he's a huge Mega Man fan too, so it was just kind of like the perfect situation to have. And I knew that he did Mega Man's like music before, because I think he's working on, I want to say he's working on X Corrupted, which is a Mega Man X fan game. So, like, he's familiar with Mega Man, and he's a huge fan of Mega Man, so it was the perfect storm that just kind of created what's gonna eventually be put into the stage. It's not there right now, unfortunately. I'm actually gonna turn on Aether stages, because it's special.
Okay. Alright.
Pick your favorite character.
Alright. Last time I did a thing, I went Maple and I killed like everyone on my team, so I'm not gonna do that again.
Well, good news is that you're not on a team.
Cool. I guess I'll go Shovel Knight. Why not?
So this is Wily Castle. Oh, I didn't update. So there will be character support for it. It will take a while to actually get it.
Gotcha.
But we have the moving platforms that come in, and they're sort of random. They have a pattern to them, but we tried to make it like kind of fun and random at the same time. There's no Yellow Devil, thankfully, because I'm not coding a boss into a normal stage.
For a minute I thought that's what you were hinting at, but
no, there is no Yellow Devil.
Yeah. It would be cool, but I definitely understand why there wouldn't be. 'Cause, like... yeah, Yellow Devil is... Well, a lot of people definitely don't like the stage in Smash because of the Yellow Devil, so it's probably a blessing he's not here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Aether version with the moving platforms. In the basic version, there's just 2 platforms on the sides. So, you won't have to ever worry about the Yellow Devil.
Yeah.
Even if you want to play on the fun version. But yeah, there will be character support. You'll probably see that in the trailer for the stage. I think I have like, I want to say 4 or 5 trailers going to be in the blueprints.
Alright.
Including the stage, and then the really overpowered Cursed Ori skin that I made. And then the other 2 projects, alongside a joke reveal that I teamed up with Sakamoto to work on.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun reveal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the plan is still on for that, for like the full reveal of the character, but It's not part of my little fighter pass thing, just so you know. Because it is a joke character, and I don't consider jokes to be a part of my little roadmap.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, part of the fun with blueprints for me is like I don't even know what's in there half the time, and every time I see something new get submitted, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know that Sprite Rip Family Guy had like so many crazy funny moves.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people looked at that and they were like, okay, why did you include this character? But it's like you have a cutscene as a normal move.
Yeah, you literally have Brian. Look out!
Yeah.
But yeah. I think I'm not sure if this is a question, but I mentioned it plenty of times to probably make sense of like what other characters we had considered for instead of Saffron. And the main runner-up for that, if only things worked out, would have been Hat Kid.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Ruby is friends with a writer for Gears for Breakfast, so we asked them, and they said ask ask her boss, and we did, and we just never got back. We never got back. He never got back to us. So we decided to hold off on Hat Kid until, the one day that we'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little sneak peek of the whole fancy stage there.
Yeah, so, I know, obviously a lot of it is just you have a huge, huge background in all of Workshop. You've been here since the beginning and been doing a lot of stuff. But obviously you do know quite a bit about Workshop too, so I have to ask, out of everything released, what are some of your favorite Workshop items? Well,
it would be a sin for me not to say literally every character Muno has put out, because Muno has done some really great work for the characters. I like Morshu a lot. I think he's a really funny character. Reichenburn is a great character that I don't think gets enough credit because they're absolutely insane. Then there's, I want to say there's a few other characters outside of those. I'm trying to think. I know the Knight's a good one. Zera's a good one. Miko Mitama is a good one. That's also a skin I have in there because I helped out with balancing her. I think if I had to say like what my all-time favorite would be, though, it's probably gonna be, Cupcake's also a really one I really like. That has nothing to do with my allegiance with Cupcake, Cupcake, because she is my main, or he's my main. Sorry, but my all-time favorite character is Suitcase. I think Suitcase is the absolute pinnacle of what Workshop should be.
Suitcase is just insane. I want to play more Suitcase. I did videos on Suitcase for a long time because I was like, yes, this character's cool, but I actually have no clue how to even begin to play that character.
So, yeah, I really like Suitcase. I think if I had to say what character like I'd really want from like Workshop to be in Base Rivals, I would automatically pick Suitcase.
Yeah.
Schrodinger's Furry is the funniest character that has ever come out of Workshop, and I will be quoted on that.
So that's current projects, but I don't know how much you've been paying attention to future projects or anything. Out of the stuff that's been like publicly announced, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to seeing?
I'm really looking forward to seeing Terra. I think Terra is... Yeah, I think Terra's gonna be sick. Ruby has been sharing progress on Terra in the in our little, so some of the curated people made a like our own little private server just so we can like keep track and work together on certain projects later in the future, just so we can keep being friends, called the Onion, which is a joke because we wanted to unionize because of our Aether coins not carrying over from the beta. So we made the Onion, and so we've been able to see like progress on all the other characters, and I've been sharing my stuff on there as well. So like everyone kind of is. I think the only stuff that we don't see much of is Team Nerve's stuff, and I feel like that's kind of all right because I mean it's their stuff; they don't have to share it if they don't want to, but they also create some really good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that, like, now that I'm thinking about it, just Team Nerve, that they've made, like, they had a roadmap, and they've made, like, two characters over the past couple months, and neither of them are part of the roadmap, but they're both really cool in their own right.
Yeah, I think 2B was entirely commissioned by Sokka.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
but, I don't know what their other character was. Was it Hodan?
It was Tamat. Hodan was part of the past.
Oh yeah, Tamat.
Tamat is cool, but obviously game is dumb and you can't play them online right now. But hopefully when that gets fixed.
Yeah. I mean, Team Nerve in general, I have mad respect for the people that work, Raven and Rare Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to think of other future projects. I know Rakesha's a character I'm really excited about too, and that's mostly because Sokka uses Rakesha in our me, Ruby, and Sokka are all part of this little tabletop group, and Sokka plays Rakesha in that one. So like I know Rakesha as a character, and I really like her as a character. So I'm excited to see how that's translated into Rivals.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of previews of Rakesha. Obviously, that character has been, like, super secretive. There's not been much shown publicly other than just a couple of teasers. But from what I have seen of them, they look insane.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. It's like, I want to say, if I had to make a comparison between, like, characters and mix them together, they're like a mix of, like, ZSS and probably like Ryu. It's the weirdest combination. They're like a zoner who has like tap and hold mechanics.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really fun concept.
Yeah. They definitely look like a lot of fun, and I'm really excited. There's just a lot of stuff that's just like, I mean, a lot of stuff it's like has kind of been, banished to the void. Like, I know someone was working on Neku Sakuraba when Workshop first started from The World Ends With You, and that was, like, the first mod I was super hyped for, and it's kind of just gone to the backlog.
I feel like I've seen, like, progress made on it, but not enough to be, like, finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember seeing that. I think the one that, like, I really missed the most was, again, I really like PM Lucas, and there was, like, a mouse that was going to have PM Lucas stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There was also like an air monkey, like big bold monk, as well as being a monkey, and they were gonna be using like a bow staff, and I was kind of intrigued on how that would play. And there was also that like Abyss Wolf character that I saw frequently, and that was trying to get back off the ground because their original creator was busy with college. So, I'll let you get your specials.
Alright, yeah. I don't play a lot of this character, so every time I bring them back up, I'm just like, wait, what are my moves again?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that you could change your specials, and I'm pretty sure that might have been a something that they added recently. Yeah,
it was in an update. How they've been doing it is, and I know that which is also, I mean, on the subject of upcoming characters, I know they're working on Me Sword Fighter now. And the plan is to do similar to this release, where at first they're just only going to have 4 specials, and then they're going to get an update that'll let you pick whatever specials you want.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I guess while we're talking about, like, upcoming workshop creations, obviously you were one of the first people that really started this. For people who are new to workshop, who want to, like, get in and start making a character, what advice would you give to them?
So, I have a few advice. I was thinking about this on my ride home from work. One is, don't worry about your sprites looking bad, because Chris's sprite looks kind of dog crap now, like, for me, because, like, that was the first character I made, but, like, I also grew as a creator. So, don't worry about your sprite being bad at first. Worry more about the characters, like, working and having a fun gameplay. That's what people are gonna really want to stick around for. My other advice to you is to, if you want to make a workshop character, start small. Don't go for the big stuff just yet. Like, I know that you might be thinking, you know, deep down in your heart, oh, I really want to make, like, I want to make the, I'm trying to think of, like, a really cool Smash character that hasn't been added to Rivals yet. I want to make the, no, Hero's already in there.
Every meter Mario.
Yeah, like, don't make your every meter Mario just yet. I would do something small. Like, don't make Steve yet, you know?
Yeah.
Start off with something that you can feasibly do and understand and get the grasps of. So that way you can, so when you get to that project, you have a lot of stuff behind you, and you can actually, like, work on your craft. I want to say my last advice to you is don't be afraid to ask for help. And even if you don't get any, you know, don't let that stop you from doing stuff. Things can get replaced, things can get changed. It's not the end-all be-all. What you need to worry about is making sure that people have fun playing your character and that you have a good time making your character. The less time you focus on, like, oh, is this going to be curated or not? The more time you can spend actually having fun making the character.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I have no background, but I definitely feel like one thing that I hear said a lot is, like, make it for you, which is along those lines.
Yeah. I would say, like, I want to say make it for you, but at the same time, I'm working on one of the secret characters is literally for Ruby and Hinata. Like, that's their dream character that I'm helping make, but I would say if you're starting off, make the character that you really want to play as. Like, Ruby and Hinata's dream character is, like, something that they've been thinking about for a while and that they actually are, like, putting down, like, pen to paper. But this is their character that they really, really want. And for when you want to start off, I want you to look at, like, the characters you really like playing in Smash Brothers and going, alright, I want to try and make something like this. Or, like, I want to get close to this in some way, shape, or form. Like, if you're, let's say you're a Link main, like, try and think of a way to make Link your own. Like, put a small spin onto Link just to, like, make it fresh, but still kind of keep it where you want Link to be in Rivals.
Yeah. So I guess from there, just moving on, outside of workshop, obviously you do a lot of workshop stuff, but are there any other big projects you're working on outside of just making workshop characters?
There is the Everest Ireless webcomic that I talked about before. That is actually having progress made on it, which is kind of exciting and kind of terrifying at the same time, because this is, like, my first time, like, properly making, like, a comic, but, like, I've done comics before. This is the first time I'm, like, sitting down and making sure things are actually correct, because I want to make sure that this is, like, if you look at this and you look at, like, the Rivals lore, like, this should connect up and be like, oh, I can read this and feel like this is part of the lore of Rivals of Aether, even if it might not be canonically.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, workshop characters, I'm doing, like, a sort of a tribute to Melee webcomic, webtoon pitch called The Year is 20XX, and I'm still kind of in the early progress of that. I have another webcomic I'm also working on that. I have a lot of webcomics, but I've also been wanting to make more videos and talk more about workshop, because, like, I feel like I come from, like, a place of authority on when I'm talking about workshop, because, you know, I've been here a while, but there's not a lot of things out there. Like, people want tutorials on how to make workshop stuff, and there's not a very good tutorial on workshop stuff out yet. I mean, there's Marvel's, like, design philosophy stuff that has been being put out ever so often, which is super, super good, and I highly recommend if you are interested in making a character that's for Rivals to actually, like, read. It's all free on their call fee, but there's not, like, how to code something in Rivals. Like, there's no, like, if someone wants to make Cloud, there's no limit meter tutorial for someone that's just starting out in Rivals.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's certainly a lot of stuff that I would like to do in the future. based on workshop, because I still want to support the scene. I want to support my favorite game. It's just, you know, I don't really have a lot of time to do it because I'm working on like 6 characters.
Yeah, that's understandable. I do know a while ago, because you mentioned your YouTube, I was just thinking about it. You made that How to Trummel video, and that's still probably one of the highlights of just workshop content in general. It's great.
I mean, I made that video as like a joke because I knew Trummel was busted. Everyone knew Trummel was busted, but no one really put into words how Trummel was busted. And then I don't know if it was me that caused it, but I like to think it was my stupid video that caused it. Was Trummel got removed from curated shortly after. So I was like, huh, that's weird. But it was also Muno's decision that probably caused that, actually, because I know Muno wasn't happy with the character. But I like to think it was probably me.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to that. I have scripts for how to Hodan, but I have to re-look at that because Hodan's gotten changes. I wanted to do one on how to Bird Guy, which I have the script for, I have the audio for, I just need the footage for.
Yeah.
But I still want to do funny, stupid videos about Workshop and playing with people on Workshop that isn't like super serious curated stuff or with Ronald McDonald or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for with the YouTube channel. And I'll probably eventually keep doing that once I have a lot more free time on my hands. Come, you know, the final Secret Characters release.
Yeah.
But once that's done, I'll probably end up just doing a ton of how to Blink videos that are meant to be funny, jokey, yet informative. And then move on from there. That's not Ronald.
It's I don't even know what to describe this character. I mean, obviously I guess they're like, you know, Walmart Ronald, but in the lore,
Ronald.
In the lore, they like kill Ronald or something. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they worked for Ronald.
Yeah, but then
they're a McDonald's employee.
But then Agent N happened. I don't know. Sai knows the lore. It's out there somewhere.
It's out there. Big bold text.
Yeah.
I think fun fact was a lot of people were probably confused about why Yo-Yo wasn't included in the RCS despite having permission to use Yo-Yo. And that's probably because of readability issues. Because there's no shading on Yo-Yo. That sometimes can be really hard on the character. And so when people were confused about it, I feel like that's the reason. And yet, I hope nobody points to me going on to... Because at Frostbite, I was jokingly saying, you know, so when are we going to ban Yo-Yo? Because everyone was playing Yo-Yo and Zeta and stuff like that. But... I don't know, readability is something that's very, very hard to get down, especially for a workshop character.
Yeah, I definitely am a little disappointed that Yo-Yo didn't make RCS, because like I was, if Yo-Yo made it, I was going to do Yo-Yo Penny, because I love both of those characters, but I definitely understand that the character definitely, I wouldn't say they're in like a horrible spot, but they're not in like...
Yeah, I mean, they're not in a horrible spot by any means, but I definitely think that they looked at curated a lot more for how they wanted to go about it, and Yo-Yo, I don't believe, is in curated.
Yeah, not anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know that they want to do something more with Yo-Yo in the future, because Yo-Yo is another character that has been largely the same ever since the release.
Yeah. I know at one point they said they wanted to make him like a grappler, which I would be so down for.
Oh, that would be a fun combination. I think there's a lot of weird combinations you go into when you look at like Rivals Workshop. Like I know there was somebody who wanted to make like a floaty grappler, aside from Epinal. What was it? It was a floaty light. It wasn't like Epinal who was heavy. It was like a floaty light zoner, or not zoner, grappler. You know, like that was not a. That's a weird combination. But then there's like, you look at like characters like Mike Lich, who are just way out there in terms of design, but they're still so, you know, crafted to fit Rivals.
Yeah. I guess Yeah, we've hit a lot of stuff, so I guess I think it'd probably be good to wrap it up. We've been going for a bit, so I guess outside, like, I guess where can people find you? Find what you're up to?
I mostly post on Twitter. That's where I usually ramble and make dumb, stupid tweets. You can find that at EquinoxDoodles. You can also get from there I think it's at Rose Petal Dev for our Rose Petal updates whenever we do that, which are very rare and sparse, but we still do them. And that's kind of where you can mainly find me. You can also find me in the EXW and stuff like that, but I'm not super active in there. But if you want to keep up to date with all the stuff, you should just follow me on Twitter.
Alright, and then I guess before we wrap this up, do you have anything else you want to add or like to talk about? Or
yeah, so I get this is the question I also get a lot. Down special makes you heavier and also increases your attack.
Yeah,
that's my final question.
I know when I made that video, like, I think there was, like, it was like in a weird in-between patch where it, like, I felt like it wasn't making me heavier. I don't know if it was like a weird in-between patch when I just so happened to make that video.
No, it definitely makes you heavier.
Yeah, but because it's like, I know it does that now, but I swear when I recorded that it didn't, and it was like...
It might have not.
It was like, this is like the worst time to make this video.
I promise it wasn't me screwing you over. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to stick around after this interview, I can show you some of the stuff I've been working on.
Sure. But yeah, I guess with that, thank you for coming on doing this.
Yeah, this was fun. I mean, I was the one that was like, hey, we should bring him back.
Yeah.
It was totally not a call from me saying, hey, I want to be interviewed. Please interview me with a smiley face on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun doing this.